Hello, all. I'm here with John Schneider with Benefit Enrollment Services, the gentleman that was on the conference call the other night. And he has a 10 to 15 minute presentation of the benefits package. And I figure I'll put this on the website so everybody can see it. So, John, go ahead. Show us what you got.
Well, thank you. I'd like to take a few minutes just to give a quick overview of the benefit program for 2018. And we're continuing to provide the same level of plans that we've provided in the past, ranging from health insurance, dental, vision, life and disability, and critical illness. One of the great things is we're providing a nurse practitioner here in the facility that will see people for everyday things like colds and flus and blood pressure. They'll be dispensing medication, and this service is provided to you at no cost. So we wanted to expand the ability for primary care access here. So this is an on-site situation from 8 to 5 under normal business hours, and they'll be prescribing medication for normal situations like blood pressure, cholesterol meds, things of that nature. It's available not just to you but for your family members at no cost. Summit's making an investment into this area to provide front dollar benefits for you and making this more accessible. In addition, we're offering a couple different medical plans. The first medical plan is going to be a mirror image of what we've provided this past year. The cost is going down, the benefits are exactly the same. There is a second medical plan that is a $5,000 deductible, but the out-of-pocket expense is also a max of $5,000. So your current plan has deductibles of $6,350, maximum out-of-pocket is $6,850, but has certain copays for hospital admission, for outpatient surgery, diagnostic tests, and doctor office visits and prescription drugs. Those copays are not available in the $5,000 deductible plan. But in overview, the $5,000 plan is actually better in the sense of catastrophic coverage if you have a major claim. The other program does provide some benefits up front, but those benefits are not as necessary today since we've got the ability for on-site treatment here at the main office, as well as a telemedicine approach that can be available for people that have elected a medical plan that allows for a doctor on call that they can discuss an everyday cold flu scenario and have medication prescribed. The great thing is we made the plans more affordable. Last year, your rates depended on whether you're a smoker or non-smoker. This year, that tobacco use does not impact your medical rates, but the medical cost per week for the $6,350 deductible plan amounts to $60 per paycheck. That's down approximately 9 as much as a little bit over 30 as it was before if you were a tobacco user. Today, the cost is $35 per paycheck for the $5,000 deductible plan. In other words, it's about $25 a paycheck less in expense on your end. That amounts to approximately $100 a month, approximately $1,200 a year less in out-of-pocket expense. That leaves a lot of reserve to pay some of the expenses that you might incur when you have the $6,350 plan that aren't available under the $5,000 deductible. So most people are just going to the doctor for a checkup and a couple of visits a year, and they're actually be a lot better off from a cost and benefit standpoint under the $5,000 deductible plan. Now, if you cover some of your dependents, employee and spouse and children, which we don't have a lot of dependent participation on, but the plan is also a lot more affordable. So we think this is a better approach.
So, the benefit participation is where this really gets interesting if you do have a spouse or child on, for example, the $5,000 plan. No longer, even the family plan, no longer $400 or $500 a week. It's only $200 a week if you have no other healthcare options.
Exactly. So we're providing coverage for those people that have dependents that don't have medical insurance through their employer. So this is mainly if no one has available for their dependents don't have coverage through their spouse's employer, they're available to come on our program here at much more affordable cost. So we wanted to change the dynamic and provide a more affordable plan, which actually provides better catastrophic coverage. Okay. And so long-term works out. And as I mentioned a minute ago, if you're on the medical plan, for you and your dependents, you have access to 24-hour access to physicians. You can call and request an appointment for the physician to call you, and then this is colds, flus, things that are not serious of medical nature, like a heart attack or pain medication or broken limbs, things like that. This is colds, flu, allergies, those type of things, which are most of the reason you go to a doctor. So on the Teladoc program, they can call in a prescription to the pharmacy of choice. Now you're going to be responsible for the cost of that prescription versus using the nurse practitioner here at the main office location. So it's a lot better to kind of peer up to that as opposed to Teladoc. When you maybe need care after hours, and this is just a great way to get access to that. And there's a toll-free number you can utilize. You will need to kind of register and get some information in there. We'll have more information coming out on Teladoc over the coming weeks. We're continuing to offer a same type of benefit plan on the dental plan. It's been offered previously by Delta Dental. This will be processed by the same company processing our medical claims, which will be North American Administrators. It has the same deductible. It covers preventing things at 100%. It covers basic things at 80%, and then what we consider major service at 60%, with the same maximums that were under the previous program. So it does provide a great way to get the routine cleanings, x-rays, those things at 100%, the no deductible, and then the basic and major services will have a deductible, but it covered either 80 or 60%. The cost of the program is $3 per week for yourself, for an employee. If you pick up a spouse, it's $7, and then there's a cost for family of full family, spouse and children, $15, and employee and children, $10. So you've got some options. This is actually a little more affordable than the previous Delta Dental plan. We also have a vision program, which again mirrors the current vision program. It does provide benefits for eye exams, materials. There are certain allowances for frames and lenses. And if you use contacts instead of glasses, there's a $115 annual expense that you can receive if you're using lenses, or allowance to cover the cost of the lenses and the contacts. So the cost is a little bit more than the other program. It's $1.50 per paycheck instead of 66 cents. Not much different, but slightly more. And the family cost is illustrated here as well. We also are continuing to provide a base life insurance for $20,000, including an additional $20,000 for accidental death for all employees. This is a Summit Trucking provided benefit at no cost to you. You've got optional benefits to round out your personal life insurance if you feel you want additional coverage for your family. And the new program provides guarantee issue amounts of up to $130,000 on yourself, regardless of health, and $50,000 on your spouse regardless of their health. Those are the limits for base coverage. Amounts over that will be required to answer medical questions. You can elect this plan next year or potentially the following year, but you've got to prove insurability at that time. So as long as you're in good health, you can elect this coverage down the road. The good thing about the initial open enrollment period for new hires and currently what we're going through for all employees is the guarantee issue basis, which is a very good thing.
So I'm going to rewind for a second to make sure that we're clear on what that means. Is that in the past, you could get up to $75,000 of insurance without any questions around your health, regardless of your health. Now you're saying that limit for the employee is up to $130,000. Now they have to pay for that additional $110,000 of insurance.
Yes.
But it's guaranteed issue independent of their health condition. And they can buy up to $50,000 of that same kind of insurance on their wife with no questions as to the health, and regardless of health. And that's available right now since it's open enrollment for everybody, and that's available for any new hire when their open enrollment period is. But if it's in the re-enrollment, let's say a year from now, they aren't able to have this much. They would have to qualify medically at that point for the increases,
Exactly.
Correct?
If someone enrolls when they're initially available, then there's no medical questions up to $130,000 for the employee and $50,000 for the spouse, as you mentioned.
Sure.
If they don't elect that coverage currently and decide to open up during next year open enrollment, which will be the next time current employees can have access to look at this, they'll have to answer questions then.
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense. Things could have happened in that year, and they know something and not telling. So, got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the rates are based on the amount of coverage you purchase, and we're showing here just an example of $10,000 to as much as $130,000, and basically in age brackets. So in 5-year brackets, you can kind of look at the cost that you'd spend per week to buy the additional life insurance over the $20,000 of company provided coverage. You'll also have to add back in there the accidental death portion of that, so it covers that as well. So if you bought $50,000 of additional coverage for yourself, there would be an accidental death benefit of an additional $50,000 if you died in an accident versus natural causes. You can also pick up coverage for your spouse, like we mentioned before. And one additional feature this year is that your spouse can have the same amount that you have, but if they go above $50,000, they will have to answer health questions. You could also pick up coverage for your children in the amount of $10,000 for as little as 44 cents a week to cover all children, regardless of the number. We're continuing to offer a short-term disability plan, and that plan would be eligible to start paying benefits after you've been off work for 30 days, and it would pay those benefits for 6 months. You can purchase 60% of your income that would pay during that 6-month period from 1 month after you were off work up to the next 6 months.
And is it retroactive to the beginning, or does it
No.
start after 30 days?
It will start after 30 days. In other
Okay.
words, the first 30 days, you have to get through that on your own personal savings and things of that nature. So the
Okay.
benefit starts to be payable to you with a 30-day period, which is kind of like a deductible. So
Got
they
it.
don't cover that first 30 days you're off work.
Okay.
But it will pick up. And disability is most often or many times overlooked as a major portion. Many of us think of our biggest assets as our homes or our cars, where in reality it's our paycheck. So as long as that paycheck continues, life can kind of march on. So this can replace a portion of your income in the event that you get sick or hurt and can't work. In the event that you're hurt on the job, the workers' compensation program will cover that. This program is designed to cover off-job disabilities and pay benefits after you've been off work for a month and pay for 6 months.
Got it.
Now, you have the ability to cover 60% of your income, but if you want to cover less than that, you can pick a specific dollar amount. Depending on what level you choose, the cost will vary. And then it is broken down in age categories, so if you're under 50, it's a certain rate. Now, if you purchase a plan and then you turn 50, the rate does not change. The rate stays the same on these programs. So it's got 3 age categories: under age 50, 50 to 64, and 65 to 74.
So if I were 48 and I bought $50,000 worth of insurance, which is $2,500 a month benefit, then it's $8.77, the bottom one down there.
Yep.
And if I turned 50 in 2 years, I'm still going to continue to pay the $8.77.
That's correct.
I'm not jumping up to the $13.33. Now, is that indefinite as long as I'm on the plan, or is there a change at some point?
There's no change. That as long as this plan continues, you're continue to pay the $8.77.
Got it.
With no price increase.
Okay.
Okay. And then there's a long-term plan that starts paying after you've been off work, then that 6-month period of benefit for short-term. So this plan will kick in after 6 months of disability.
7 months?
Actually, payable starting the 7th month.
Okay.
Okay.
Payable in the 7th month.
Yes.
Okay, so
So they dovetail. The benefit starts paying after 6 months and runs 6 months after 1 month and pays for 6 months, and then the new plan will start paying after that plan. So they work in tandem.
So the short-term benefit ends after the 6th month.
Yes.
It only pays out for 5 months then. I'm clear. Got it.
Okay. And now, this benefit is payable by definition to age 65.
Okay.
Now, there are benefits payable after 65 depending on the age you're disabled. The definition for the first 2 years of disability is your regular job. So if you can't do your regular occupation, your physician will determine that. And so the benefits become payable. It also pays in the event that you have, after a period of total disability, at least 30 days, then it will cover, this is a partial disability where you can work
Okay.
part-time. So there's benefits that are payable that are significant.
So it doesn't hurt the employee if they are able to perform some job function, earn some money,
Yes.
they can still get some of their benefit.
After they've at least gone through a period of total
2
disability.
years, right? Yeah, sure, got
Okay.
it.
Now, if someone's disabled under age 60, the benefit's payable at age 65. But if they were continuing to work and they were, say, 65 years old when they went out on disability, the benefit would be payable for 24 months.
Got it.
And so it qualifies to kind of at least a benefit to 65, but there's still benefits available
After 65, depending on the age of their disability that they were when they were disabled.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then just as an example of cost, for if you earn $3,000 per month, your benefit would be 60% or $1,800. That benefit would cost you, if you're under age 60 when you have the plan, it's $2.90 per week in paycheck. If you're 60, 69, it's $4.85, and over 70, it's $3.46. The reason over 70 is less because it's a much shorter period that you'd receive the benefit.
Sure.
And then if you made $4,000 a month, your benefit would be $2,400, and the benefit would be $3, or cost would be $3.88 compared to $2.90 if you're under age 60. This benefit is actually tax-free, so the benefit would not be subject to being taxed when received.
Okay, so that's actually better. So that's like $2,400 a month net pay on your paycheck versus what you'd normally get on a paycheck. You'd maybe have to earn $3,500 to get $2,400.
Exactly.
Okay,
So,
excellent. All right.
So it does a great job on replacing. And again, for the cost of a lunch, sometimes I mean you could now the odds of having a claim in this area are relatively low, but the lifetime career odds are higher. So it just does provide a lot of security for that benefit.
Yep.
The last benefit we're talking about is a group critical illness plan. And this pays a benefit in the event that you have a heart attack, a stroke, cancer, or internal organ, or say kidney failure. And it pays 100% of the benefit if you have a diagnosis in those areas. And if you have some additional things like paralysis due to a covered accident, coma, that pay, which are very rare, but that will pay the full benefit as well. And there's additional benefits when you have a diagnosis of it has a subsequent claim. So what this does, there's no lifetime maximum, but in the event that you have a claim, the policy will reload and pay after 6 months. It also covers internal cancer, and the benefit, again, as I mentioned, is initially paid and then reloads after 6 months. So I'll show you some examples of that. Let's say that you decided to purchase a plan, and there's options of either a $5,000 lump sum benefit or $10,000. So if you purchase a policy, it would start, let's say, on February 1st of 2018. And then the following fall, you might have a heart attack, and the benefit would be $10,000. This benefit is also received free of any income tax. And it's paid upon the diagnosis of a heart attack. Now, after 6 months, the plan reloads, and you're eligible for a benefit if there is a second event. If that second event is the same condition, such as another heart attack, it pays 25% of the benefit, or $2,500.
Okay.
If you have a different condition after 6 months, it pays the full benefit again. So, in all, just just an example, it's kind of like a lifeline. If you have a major event and there's specific types of diagnoses that are covered, then you're eligible to receive a benefit. So this could help you financially. It might be important in today's world, but it could be even more important down the road, because the deductibles on medical plans typically will rise and they're not going to go back down. And as you get older, the incidence of having a claim in this area is greater as well. So there's no maximum amount of benefit payable under that particular type program. It's based on your smoker status. And so if you're a non-smoker and you wanted to buy $5,000 of coverage and you're in your 40s, it's $3.23 a paycheck. It's a little higher in your 50s. Now, if you bought this when you're 49 and you turn 50, the rates do not change. So you lock in the rate. We want you to retire from Summit Trucking LLC, but should you leave employment here, you can take this plan with you at the same price and continue as long as you want. If you decide to elect $10,000, it's a little bit more, but it's not double in price. And if you get coverage for your spouse, they receive 50% of the coverage you purchase, and their smoker status is going to hinge off of what your smoker status is. So if you're a smoker, you'll pay smoker rates, as will your spouse. And if you're a non-smoker, your spouse will pay non-smoker rates. That's really kind of a 10,000-foot overview of the benefits. And we've covered a lot in just a few minutes. We have a benefit booklet that's available. And then we'll have opportunities to talk with our benefit counselors and just help everyone through that general process. I'm really excited about a program. We've offered a more competitive medical program with lower potential expense on large claims and a great way to receive primary care here on the facility or over the phone. So it's really a benefit enhancement this year, and many times we don't have the opportunity to do that. It's very exciting to have the opportunity to be part of that.
Great. Thank you, John. I appreciate the time, and hopefully people watch this over the weekend, beginning of next week, and get themselves enrolled. Thank you. Thank you all.